RuneScape is a vast game that has stood the test of time. From our humble beginnings of collecting flax and trading our wares at Falador Park, to our not so humble and rather sweaty, tick-eating, prayer-flicking, wooks-walking modern standards. You could say by now the player base has figured out this game, if not mastered it entirely. But what if we had forgotten a few things along the way? What about the niche interactions left behind? Or those truly forgotten, obscure little facts that make you say, huh? Today's video will explore exactly that. We'll be looking into the forgotten, the unknown, and the weirdly helpful old school RuneScape facts, bits and bobs. There will be something interesting for everyone, so sit back, grab a glass of Greensman Ale, and join me on this journey. First up, we have an interesting fact about the Monkey Madness quest, an iconic quest from 2004 that hundreds, nay thousands have completed. But here's a little snippet of information you may not know about. During the quest, you can free a monkey from Ardoin Zoo. But did you know that you can do it again after the quest is complete? Yep, if you bring a Gree to the Ardoin Zoo, you can jump back in the cage and grab yourself another monkey. If you bring it to Karamja, you will get a small amount of thieving XP. But something a bit more fun, you could bring it to other places around the map, such as the Grand Exchange, and drop it on the ground so it runs around to bamboozle other players. And when you drop it, you can pick it back up again. Also, if you use bananas on the monkey in your backpack, you have a chance of receiving a medium clue scroll. This is only redeemable once though. One problem with this is that you can't teleport, otherwise the monkey will disappear, but you can take charter ships. Let's stop monkeying around and get a little serious for a second. Have you ever wondered why the granite shield has this shape? Well, the shape is allegedly modeled after an island in Spain called Gran Canaria. If we put the shield and the map side by side, we can clearly see the similarity, which begs the question, why? But this gets even weirder. There's a mountain in the middle of the island, which matches up with this notch on the shield, and the island is called Pico de las Nieves. And even more interesting, if you look even closer, really close at the shield, you'll see a subscribe button. I think it's trying to tell you something. No, not really, but that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, now here's a truly obscure one. If you go down the ladder at Barbarian Assault, you'll see a bunch of privates walking around. Well, did you know that if you talk to one, there's a chance they'll make your character perform one of the drill instructor emotes? I decided to go ahead and give this one a go. And what do you know? It totally works. Now, this one has been floating around for a little while now, but I'll throw it in here just in case you missed it, because it's such a great little Easter egg. If you travel to the volcano in the deep wilderness and use a gold ring on it, a goblin will appear and yell, "My precious," clearly inspired by Lord of the Rings. Did you know that RuneScape holds, or has held, at least 3 Guinness World Records? One for the most users of an MMO video game, the second for the most prolifically updated MMORPG video game, and another for the highest amount of original pieces of music in a video game. That's right, those nostalgic tracks that seem to be ingrained in our deep subconscious are there for a reason. Good luck getting sea shanty out of your head anytime soon. Now put on your tinfoil hats because we're about to get into a conspiracy, and it involves the Falador White Knights. Well, during the quest Desert Treasure, there is a chance that a stranger NPC will spawn and attack you while you're carrying some gems. A bit of information that most people know. But did you know that during an AMA, the original developer of Desert Treasure revealed that the stranger was actually sent by one of your supposed friends, the White Knights of Falador, specifically Sir Tiffy, in a plot to prevent Alessandra's release. So the next time you head to Falador, make sure you bring a weapon to spec out a White Knight or two. Those bastards. I'm hungry. Old School RuneScape has a range of different food, from sharks to pizzas to gnome delicacies. But did you know you can make scrambled eggs? I sure didn't. To make these, you need to use an egg on a bowl to make uncooked eggs. Then use it on a range with level 13 cooking. It grants 50 experience when successful. At level 23 cooking, it can also be combined with a tomato to make egg and tomato, which provides no experience, but does provide one of the 2 final ingredients for an egg potato. Now for a few little tips that I found really interesting. Firstly, do you know you can backspace full words in the text box instead of 1 letter at a time? Simply hold Control and press backspace. I personally had no idea that you could do this. I might have been living under a rock, but it honestly shocked me. And the next little tip, did you know you can search the OSRS wiki by typing a command in the chat box? Simply type :wiki and then add the item you want to look up in between the less than and greater than symbols. Pretty helpful if you didn't know this one. And while we're on these little tips, try typing : bank to get an auto-written message calling you silly, or : render self to turn your character invisible. Please note that you're only invisible to yourself. Others can still see you, so don't try any funny business if you know what I mean. Did you know the examine text for a ferret is just the word wild? I wonder how many other examine texts are just one word. And the examine text for a ring of endurance is a little bit sus. Reading, I wonder if this ring helps with ... Want some secluded, barely touched places on the RuneScape map to hide out? Well, if you travel to Fossil Island and make your way to the southern swamp, you can find a bellshroom plant there, which will lead you to an otherwise inaccessible part of the swamp, if you feed it breadcrumbs. There's nothing much to do in this area, just an archaeologist who is losing their mind to the swamp, and a book that you can collect if you search them. Another little hidden area that most people don't really know about is the brewing area in Port Phasmatis. It can be used to brew ales, but is deemed inefficient compared to the brewery in Keldagrim. Not to mention that brewing is dead content in itself. Still, a cool little area that not many people have been to, or know about. We probably all know Count Draenor. But did you know his character model from 2004 to 2006 had a Glariel's amulet? The amulet is used during the Waterfall quest to enter the Waterfall dungeon. Perhaps Count Draenor was getting some early game combat levels. Here's one that I've personally been hit with. Did you know that when woodcutting, there's a small chance that when a bird's nest drops, it will make an armadillo speck sound? For those of you who don't know, it's quite, well, unique. Definitely a bit of a jump scare if you aren't ready for it. What about Lumbridge, the place we all start out? We'd know everything about such an iconic location, right? Well, what about the teddy bear upstairs of the general store that is an item, but instead of having the usual blue text that every other item like it has this orange text, which is really quite odd. Perhaps the teddy bear is alive, who knows? Or the fact that you can pull this axe out of the wood stump just outside Farmer Fred's house. Or that if you failed the 2017 Halloween event, like I did, there would be a gravestone with the bloody letter J and the murderer's bloody harpoon placed on it in the cemetery, as a tribute to the NPC Jarvis that you failed to help. All of this is completely useless, but somewhat interesting. Feeling a bit chilly? Well, did you know you can use a tinderbox on Joga bones to create a fire? It'll even show burning bones on the ground, and will result in burnt Joga bones. This is needed during the Taibo One-Eye quest, so a few of you might know this one, but still, it's pretty cool. If you're looking to trick your friends, there is a bottle of rum that you can buy from the Trouble Brewing shop for 20 pieces of 8. When consumed, it shows your character drinking a bottle of rum, and then performing the death animation. It will then teleport you to the minigame, the Perfect Vanishing Act. There you have it, a bunch of weird and wacky bits and bobs to sink your teeth into. I hope you enjoyed the video. I wanted to try something different with this one. I'll be back next week with another money making video as per usual. Please subscribe and leave a comment if you enjoyed. Okay, bye.